Okay, I'm drawing a recovery model about my computer not working. Mainly because I have found that when I go on the computer, right, I woke up today with loads of excited feelings about writing. And then I just want to get started and I just want to write. But then I go onto the computer and the computer decides to not do simple things that it should do. So I'm going to map that. So I woke up. There we go. Woke up. First thing I did was look after my body. Oh, find a different pen. So looked after my body. So I had a wee. I had a drink. I had a stretch. Then when my physical body stuff has stopped being the loudest thing I can hear, some thoughts crept in. I suppose thoughts about, ooh, it's quite cold. Oh, look, I've missed me things. Ooh, it's cold, so I got a jumper. Oh, I need a bath. Those kind of thoughts, you know, so then I had a bath. Did all the self-care things, basically. Need a bath. Yeah. And then did some self-care, so I could put self-care here. And then as I'm in the bath, other thoughts are coming online, and I started to get thoughts and feelings. So it's not just like thoughts, is it? It's thoughts and feelings all together. And my thoughts and feelings grew and expanded, and I felt like, ooh, what would be a nice thing to do? And then they lined up and they agreed that today I thought it would be a good idea to do some writing. Oops, not that I can write right now. There we go. So there's my thinkings. Good idea to do some writing. And my feelings felt really aligned with that. You know, I felt motivated. I felt interested. I felt some joy at the thought of having a day of writing. These are really nice sorts of feelings, aren't they? If you heard the toilet flush, that's my husband just going to the loo. So then I thought, okay, I got this nice sort of aligned thing. There we go. My thoughts and feelings agree that it would be nice to do some writing. So here I started trying to write. And I turned the computer on. Boom, 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 boom. Glitch. That's the point where it all fell apart. Put the computer on because the computer was not playing. Right, I scanned a picture I wanted to write about, one of these recovery models. I had the picture and everything. I put it into the computer and then the tool menu would not show up for me to convert that picture from a scan into a JPEG. And I couldn't do it. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe my computer's been on. So then I stopped and I restarted it and I reset it and I tried all these things and it just was not working and it fragmented. This idea I'd had, this plan I had, that just kind of fell apart and broke into pieces, you know, and weariness landed. So then my body, my head here and my body were quite aligned, but here at this point, my body's completely gone splat. So now at this bottom place here, I've just got this huge feeling of weariness and heaviness, and it's almost like, if I get a brown pen, it's like someone's plonked a rock on top of my beautiful feelings of motivation and energy and flow and excitement. Oh, I need some new pens. That's what I need. I really need some new pens. I might go buy those today instead, eh? Right, so here, I've done like excuse me, this is where I really do need colours. So, where's my yellow and my blue? Right, here's my blue. Right, so here when I woke up, this is all about my body. I always draw body stuff in yellow. Yeah, there's my body. It's the first thing I notice when I wake up. Then my head starts to join in. So I always draw my head in kind of blue like that. And then the two sort of join up, and I'm thinking, oh, I need to feel nice and everything. So all my heart's involved there. And through the bridge of all these feelings here, which are a bit more sort of, whatever, cloudish, not solid. This is solid, this is solid, and this is more like a cloud. The yellow and the blue join up through that bridge and that enabler into something that feels happy and growy. Yeah, there you go. So there I am, big plans, happy feeling, flowy feelings. But then something comes along and plonks itself like a rock on top of all that good feeling, which it might help if I had a better brown. Now this video has gone to shit, hasn't it? Here we go. Here's the rock. Plonk. Do you ever felt like you felt so weary and so heavy in your life that you feel like you've got a rock on top of you, or you feel like you've got a rock in your middle? Yeah, something is blocking you, something is stopping you, something has derailed your plans or something. Yeah, so this is a massive heavy rock. There you go. And it's just put a lid on all the stuff I wanted to do. And it felt for me like heaviness in my body, like physical heaviness, but also weariness emotionally. And at the same time, my head is going mad under there. My head, with all its ideas of what it wanted to do, is now tangling because it can't get through this. So instead of feeling flowy and growy and nice, I've got this awful tangling and twisting and a backlog of pressure of, well, I was supposed to be doing this. I was meant to be doing this. That thing was supposed to be happening. Now it's not. So I've got this combination of feelings of being completely still and static and frozen, but I've also got internally in my head and everywhere, I've got this feeling of intense motion. So one part of me is completely still and one part of me is moving at speed. You know, the outside looks completely still. If someone was to look at me, they'd go, oh, well, they're just sat there not doing anything, aren't they? And they don't see the whirlwind of stuff that is now going on the inside because I've just been derailed from what I thought I was going to do. So all this lovely stuff has just turned into a tornado. And that tornado is a horrible thing to experience. It just sends you into this horrible whirling, swirling sense of dizziness and not knowing what you're going to do, not knowing how you're going to survive it, not knowing how to get through it or the solution at all. So there you go. We've got this, right? So now we've got this rock, plonk, the fragmentation and the opposite and extreme experiences of feeling stuck and frozen, which essentially is biology, freeze, and flight and motion, massive motion as well. And they're not connecting, they're separated, aren't they? They're not connecting. So to kind of fix that and to sort that out, I need to look on my body first. My body is the thing that's stopping me moving. So this is all moving, but my body is stopping me moving and attending to it. So that takes priority in this moment. And the body is the first thing to turn towards. So what I need to do is figure out why I froze. Now, often in biology, you freeze if you feel threatened. Now, I know it's only my computer glitching and not doing what I wanted, but I am really exhausted by the endless barriers of layers of passwords and things that just make simple things very, very complicated and almost impossible for me sometimes. So my body does not know the difference. My body just experiences that feeling and then that triggers the fight and flight response. It doesn't know that I am not being threatened by a tiger it just feels thread. It doesn't know that my computer in front of me that can't bite me is doing this. I do though. My head does though. But I need to attend to this freeze response in my body. Now, thankfully, rocks are natural materials, aren't they? You know, they're made of the earth. So I can soften this and I can turn this into earth to grow from, but only if I safety myself. So that might mean doing things like giving myself a hug. Because when I experience touch, a physical sensation of hug, my body goes, oh, I can feel that. Or touch. And it's me, and nobody else is doing this to me. I'm doing this for me. So if I hold my arms like this, you might be able to see, touch, and I'm putting quite pressure on there, so that pressure is reassuring and it tells me I am existing right now in this moment. And another place I can put my hands to offer reassuring pressure to ground me. Again, isn't it funny, the language grounding? You're taking this rock and you're turning it into ground to grow from again. And if you want to ground yourself, often you can do that by putting your hands on your stomach, or you can put one hand on your stomach area, your gut area, and one hand on your heart. And you can do that. You can have pressure in those two places because that's incredibly reassuring as well. Another thing I learnt about recently is this thing called cricketing, which is what people do. It's a body memory of needing reassurance. Apparently, it's a representation of a body that holds trauma. And it's where you cross your feet and you put pressure on one foot with the other foot, or on both feet alternately, like this with your feet. It's like a fetal position almost, like this foot position. Cricketing. So in some ways, doing that kind of physical pressure first, to go, okay, I can feel that. I'm not being swept away by this tornado that might carry me away here. And I'm not powerless to stop it because I'm squished under a rock while this is sweeping me away and I can't stop it. That's that combination of feeling, isn't it? That's that horrible feeling, like you feel like you're being literally blown apart, swept apart, but you're frozen and you can't move. You know, this is what this. So, but if you turn this rock into grounding instead, reassurance and safetying by offering yourself some healthy pressure instead of stressful pressure, because again, all we're doing, like a yin yang, is we're taking the thing that's happening and we're changing its state. So in this moment, I was feeling pressure that was freezing me and sticking me in place. But what I could also do is I could take that experience of pressure and I can turn it into a reassuring pressure that's like a hug, that tells me I'm safe and I'm okay and I'm fine and I'm going to survive this. And that I've got myself and I'm not alone. And it isn't terrifying. It's all right. You know that. So what we're doing is transforming the thing that we're experiencing, transforming its purpose. It's a bit like when you're experiencing feelings of anxiety, how they can also be the very same feelings you get when you're excited. It's not the feelings themselves, it's the interpretation of it. So the first thing I have started with is a hug. And then I've thought about my body. I think it's really important to expand awareness of body. If I have been frozen and I have been stuck for a while, I might then need the loo. I might need a drink. I might be hungry. So I've done those things. I've gone and I've had food. I've got a drink. I've taken my tablets that I have to take, my painkillers. I've attended to the needs of my body after experiencing this. And now I have reduced more of the uncomfortable sensations. So I've reduced the pressure that I was experiencing. And I've moved away from the swirling, actually. That's interesting. There's distance now between me and the swirling. This swirling is still there a little bit. But actually, because I've turned that into ground to grow from, there we go. Let's fill that in like it's earth now instead of a rock. And then I've nourished myself. I've added nutrients. It's about a bit like adding plant food to your compost, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I'm able to travel through here. I'm travelling through here now. up here. And there's distance away from all this swirling. So now I'm here. Yeah. And then thought about my environment as well, because that's really important, what you're surrounded by. So I've had a good look at my environment and I've asked myself, am I safe? Am I unsafe? The answer was, yeah, okay, I'm safe. I'm in my house. You know, it's just my computer. Some ability to reason comes back here in this space of processing. So here's the environment. But I'm not just asking, oh, have I got a cushion? Have I got a chair? Have I got a window or whatever? I'm asking, is my environment safe? And I'm being told by what I see, what I notice, what I see, and what I feel that, yeah, I am safe. Okay. So now I can move away from this freeze response because I'm not unsafe and powerless anymore. When you're unsafe and powerless, that's when you freeze. If you're unsafe and mobilized, that's when you're experiencing fight and flight. When you're safe, that's when you're just comfortable and in flow with everything. So yeah, environment next. Am I safe? Yes, I'm safe. Okay. And then relationship with self and with the experience that has happened. So my relationship with myself is that I am a neurodivergent person who glitches daily in relation to stuff like this. I freeze daily in relation to stuff like this, and it makes me really tired and really weary. So it doesn't even have to be a big thing anymore. It's just that there's a cumulative effect from all of this stuff. And as soon as I struggle with a password, or as soon as the computer doesn't work or something, it triggers a much bigger experience for me because it's cumulative, because it's gathered. So I know that my own, other people might have experienced what I experienced with the computer this morning, and they might just go, oh, well, never mind, just deal with it and move on. But I know for me as an individual, it has been such a barrier, particularly with the other conditions I have that affect my cognitive functioning, that it does feel like a bigger issue. So I need to be aware of that and know that I have a different relationship with this stuff to other people. So then I'm not going to bring in the voices of other people telling me I'm stupid. What I'm going to do in relationship with myself is support myself and tell me it's okay. It's okay, you do find this stuff hard and that's okay, but you're looking after yourself and that's brilliant. And then I can see the things I am doing. Relationship with the computer itself, the outside. So I've looked at the inner relationship, inside relationship. Now I'm looking at the outside relationship. My relationship with my computer. Is there a way that I can work on my relationship with this bloody thing? Can I get a password safe app? Could I make sure that I prepare more? Could I charge my computer better? Are there things I could learn in terms of using the programs itself, themselves? So there's probably learning and upskilling I can do to support myself so that I have a better relationship with technology. So that's really cool. So that's relationship stuff. Now I'm feeling, instead of stuck, now I'm feeling like I might have some places to go. So the next thing is interesting because it's often about feelings. And if you were to follow the Maslow hierarchy of needs steps, this would be about self-esteem. But also I tend to label it just feelings in general because it can be how you feel about yourself, but it can be how you feel about everything else as well. So feelings here. But now because I've done all of this stuff, I'm not feeling stuck. I'm feeling like I might have some answers and solutions, things I could do, proactive things. I'm actually feeling quite good about this now. And also like it might have given me a way forward into things. And then identity-wise, well, then now I know myself as someone who can keep me safe. I can trust me to keep me safe. I can rely on me. I know I'm solid. I know I'm grounded. I know I can self-parent. I know I can self-nurture. I also know that I have enough awareness to keep myself safe. So that's good. That's reassuring, isn't it? That's strengthening. And then I know that I'm able to see the detail of my relationship with myself more. So I'm like learning about that relationship with me all the time. And then I'm also able to look outwards from me. Here we go. And expand what I see in a different way. You know, I can see, oh, maybe I do need to do some training in relation to using these programs on the computer. Maybe I do. You know, those are good things, though, because then those feel like shoots of growing, don't they? You know, this is like seed now, isn't it? That in the ground, there's a lovely little seed that's formed. Okay, I've spotted something I can go and learn. There's my seed, my realization, my moment of spotting a place where I can go and grow from, which is a really beautiful thing, I think. Then I'm like self-identifying my places for education. I'm not being told what I have to do. I'm going, oh yeah, I know I need to do that, and I can see that for myself. And it brings back motivation, doesn't it, I think? And then within all of this is how I feel. Now, my feelings have changed from panic and fear, terror and being frozen and wanting to run away. They've changed into a feeling of purpose again, motivation again. So they're reconnecting. Like while I'm expanding in one direction, I'm also refining and reconnecting in another. So I'm expanding my awareness, but I am reconnecting to my safety. I am reconnecting to my purpose. I am joining myself back up. I am not split anymore. I am healing this split dynamic where I was both frozen and super, super fast and mobile, but couldn't do anything about it. I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm joining back up. So here I am, nice and joined back up. I would get the purple for this if I can find it. So done with it, there it is. Now, the lovely thing about this is when you join back up, you can imagine you're like on a seesaw. And you're standing in the middle of that seesaw, finding your balance and finding your direction. And then anybody else that's supporting you can be here, supporting you from bottom up. Instead of telling you what to do from top down. This is a better place to be. That echoes the dynamics that you will find in the empowerment dynamic by David Emerald Vormundorf. So already so far in the model I've done, we've had Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's come in and has been helpful. Now this is the empowerment dynamic, which is about relationship dynamics. And if I was to draw me, I mean, that could probably be me asleep, couldn't it? That's interesting. Yeah, that would probably look a bit like the drama triangle. And that one is by someone called Stephen Cartman. And all of those are relationship dynamic things. I have completely wandered off from where I was. Basically, I woke up, I dealt with my physical needs. I had a bath. I got myself ready. While I was in the bath, I started to think, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a day of writing? And I got good feelings about that. So I started to do that. Then I put the computer on and it all went wrong because the computer would not play. But because I'm so tired of experiencing technology as a barrier instead of a help, it completely froze me. So I froze, but at the same time, I've got all this frantic swirling feeling because I am both frozen, because I feel unsafe and powerless, but I also had things I wanted to do and feel like I've got this urgency to get on with it. And so all this swirling, tornado-y awfulness was building pressure underneath a thing that felt like a rock. So my body felt heavy and wouldn't move, but my head was swirling. There you go, that's that awful split. When you've got opposite extreme feelings swirling around. But I could turn a rock into ground to nurture myself and grow from, because it is earth. And then I found nourishment, and I found food, I found water, I found the things I needed to feel better. I found my environment was then safe. I identified things I needed to do in terms of training, learning, seeds to grow from, to then make sure this kind of thing, well, to help it not happen again as best I can, which you can never prevent it, can you, with computer technology. And then I reflected on my relationship with technology and my reflection with myself, my relationship with myself. And then I started to feel a bit better. And then I know now that I can do this processing and I can get rid of this awful feeling I'm not powerless when this frozen stuff happens. I can change that. And I can actually be, instead of stuck under a rock, instead of being stuck under here, it's me stuck under there. Instead of being stuck under there, I can be the person standing in the middle of a seesaw, finding my balance and figuring my way through life, solving my problems. And I think that's all you can do in life, isn't it? Figure out a way to solve the problems you encounter. Because I think life is a bit like this. Like, it's ups and downs, isn't it? Imagine you're on that seesaw where you're just constantly going to be experiencing ups and downs, like waves of life, ups and downs of mood, ups and downs of ability, ups and downs of ease and difficulty. There's that, you know. But, like, instead of being completely squished by that here, or frozen by that into ice cubes, whatever it is, however you visualize that, instead I can keep this lovely flow here. So after doing all of this, I've realized I probably do need to admit that I need to learn some more stuff about technology. I'm not frozen anymore. I quite enjoyed mapping it. It was quite fun drawing all the funny characters, and I feel better and I can go back to my writing now. Woo! Happy days. I wish you a good day, everybody. Bye.